All right, so I'm going to call the regular meeting of the zoning administrator for the city of San Clemente to order. The first item of business is to receive and file the minutes from the January 9, 2023 zoning administrator meeting, so received and filed. The next item on the agenda is oral and written communication. This is the time on the agenda when members of the audience may address the zoning administrator on an item within the jurisdiction of the zoning administrator that is not on the agenda. If you wish to speak,
Hello.
please approach the podium, and if you desire, state your name and or city of residence for the record and make your presentation. But not seeing anyone wishing to speak on this item, we'll move to the public hearings. The public hearing process includes a staff presentation, a presentation by the applicant not to exceed 10 minutes, and public testimony not to exceed 3 minutes per speaker. Following closure of the public hearing, the zoning administrator will respond to questions raised during the hearing, discuss the issues, and act upon the matter by motion. I failed to mention that I'm Cecilia Gallardo-Daly, the zoning administrator. Hello, welcome. So we have one public hearing item today, and it is a minor conditional use permit for Surfside Pizza. It includes the minor architectural permit for an outdoor patio and a minor conditional use permit for beer and wine. So we'll have a staff report on the item.
Right. Thank you very much, everybody. Glad to be here today. The applicant, Ed, is here. Thanks for coming, Ed. The project being considered for zoning administrator today, as Cecilia mentioned, is located at 216 Avenida Vaquero. It is an existing business known as Surfside Pizza. The subject of the proposed request is for the construction of a permanent outdoor patio and for the sale of beer and wine service for both on-site and outdoor consumption. The existing restaurant currently has 8 indoor seats within an approximate 1,000 square foot tenant space, and is located within Neighborhood Commercial Zoning District 1-1. The subject of the applicant's request are conditionally permitted uses within the said zoning district. Today we have a quick slideshow to talk a little bit more about the project, present some of the details. Here is the location of the project, located, as mentioned, at 216 Avenida Vaquero, within the Neighborhood Commercial Zoning District, denoted there with the yellow polygon. This is a slideshow of the condition of the business prior to a July 2021 temporary outdoor operating permit, a TOOP, which is now expired in the location that you can see here before us inside the small Iron Gate area. In July 2021, as I noted, the temporary outdoor operating permit was issued for this location here during the COVID-19 period, this general vicinity. And the project before us, as mentioned, is for a detached outdoor dining area. Incorporated as part of the design are a few things that are detailed here, which include wooden walls with a built-in bench. We've got planter walls, a wrought iron gate for ingress and egress from the outdoor patio area. 2 bollards are being proposed for safety considerations. And were comments that were provided through the DMT process by engineering. And the outdoor furniture and lighting that is there is the existing furniture that's there will remain. Again, beer and wine service is also being proposed for this location. Here is a site plan, plan view site plan of the general location of where the outdoor detached patio is being proposed at this location in front of the existing Surfside Pizza restaurant. I should note as well is that presently there are 8 indoor seats for the restaurant, and consistent with the municipal code, the applicant is allowed to have 8 outdoor seating areas, of which 7 are being proposed, without having to provide additional parking. Here's a couple slides depicting what the planter walls and the bench area for the outdoor patio area would look like. These are not the exact ones, but are intended to be consistent with what is being proposed at this location, which includes a 36-inch planter wall and also a built-in wooden wall with a bench seat. Here's an image of the existing condition that's out there today with a few seating areas and a small sidewalk that runs along the backside of the pillars there along the building. The outdoor lighting in this area, which includes flood lamps and fluorescent lamps, are hung under the patio awning there and would remain. There's no proposed lighting there. So just regarding the analysis and findings in order to make a determination on this project, these are some of the considerations in that no additional on-site parking is being required as part of the proposal for the outdoor patio area. It also promotes and encourages pedestrian activity through the area. One of the conditions that came out of the DMT discussion was that the material and color used for the outdoor patio area match the existing building,
Okay.
which the applicant has agreed to do. And DMT was in support of the project. The substantive comment that we got from DMT was the location of the two bollards for safety considerations. Based on this quick slideshow here, staff is recommending approval for the project to the zoning administrator. With regards to the California Environmental Quality Act, it's been determined that the project would qualify under Class 1 exemption for existing facilities, and Class 3, new construction, conversion of small structures under 2,500 square feet. And there have been a resolution and conditions of approval attached to staff report that reflect the discussion and the PowerPoint slide presentation. One item that we'd like to read into the record today with regards to the site plan itself is that given the constraints in the area of the project and the tight nature of its location, staff is recommending a condition of approval as follows. Prior to construction of the outdoor patio enclosure, the applicant shall delineate using tape or similar temporary marking the limits of the proposed construction. The city planner or designee shall field verify the proposed limits. Upon review of the marked limits, the city planner or designee will validate and provide written verification to the applicant regarding its consistency with the submitted site plan dimensioning. Once confirmed, construction may commence. Again, once the city planner or designee has confirmed the approved limits. And that concludes the presentation.
Okay, thank you. Chris, great staff report. That was, thank you for speaking to this added condition. That was one area of concern I had about the project in looking at the site plan and the scale and going out to the site and trying to match up the proposed dimensions of the outdoor dining area with the existing site conditions, because that area does seem very constrained. So according to the site plan, going out an additional 11 feet 2 inches from the existing posts seems a little, it looks like it would encroach more into the area that's off limits. So I am concerned about that. Let me just ask a follow-up question of staff. I know that the Design Review Committee recommended that the wooden materials proposed for the bench walls and the planter be painted to match the existing building, or in some way capture elements of the existing building. Is that a condition of approval? I don't know if I saw it in the conditions.
If not, it should be.
Okay.
And that can definitely make its way in if that's not been included.
Okay.
But yes, that was a comment of the Design Review Subcommittee, actually.
It is addressing condition 1.3 that the development shall be in substantial conformance with the approved plans, material boards, and information submitted in the application.
Okay.
So that can be covered.
We can make it a little bit clearer by adding, clarifying the language to that effect too.
Okay, yeah, I know it's all part of the exhibits to the staff report, so I just want to make sure that, what we're looking at today is what will be built out in the field. Okay, great, thank you. All right, well, I don't have any follow-up questions for staff. Would the applicant like to introduce themselves or make any comments?
Sorry for my tardiness. My name is Ed Suzuki. I'm one of the owners of Surfside Pizza. Been in business for over 6 years now. And I really wish we had done this thing many years ago, because I didn't realize that starting this process in January last year that it would take this long. I didn't realize how intricate it was to propose plans and get things approved. So going back and forth, particularly during the COVID period, it was kind of constraining a lot of business. But I'm kind of glad finally it's in the end of the tunnel's here. Other than what has been presented, I know Carla, right?
Yeah.
I have been working back for her. She's been very instrumental in making sure I got everything done, I's dotted, T's crossed, and so forth. So, frankly, I don't think I have anything more to add to the program. Other than that, I think, as a small pizza joint that's off the grid, it's the thing that's been in our area, it's just, you kind of have to go around and find us across the street from the DMV. I've had residents who've driven by our place, and sometimes I pose this to them when they ask, "Hey, I've never been here before." I see an elderly couple. So, "Well, how long have you lived here in San Clemente?" "Well, I've been here for 40 years. Drove by your place, never knew you existed." Mm-hmm. Right. So there's a lot of barriers to which we are trying to get business, because obviously not having a major thoroughfare in terms of location, in terms of highway, streets, freeway, having a major high school next to you and so forth, it's been a very big obstacle for us to increase sales. So we have to exemplify our food customer service. My business partner Ken is like, well, he's like Attila the Hun when it comes to customer service. I mean, he will call people if there's any issues and so forth. Most customers will never get a phone call for the most minute stuff, but he wants to make sure that every Yelp review, every review, and online, and also that, verbal criticism can metastasize within the community. You get one person and they'll tell their friends and they'll tell their friends. So we have to do whatever we can to mitigate any kind of complaints and so forth, and have a really good product out there. And because of the obstacles, like I said, within the community and where we're located, that frankly we should have done the beer and wine license some years ago to help amplify our business and attract a lot of people. Because having to tell people, well, we don't serve alcohol, and then it kind of drives away some business. I've been there for 6 years. I can count 2 people who've ever stayed in my store to watch a game from beginning to end. 2 people in 6 years. You can't do that with just food alone. Now, if you have a pitcher of beer or stuff like that, that'd be fine. And the ladies do like to have some wines from time to time. But one thing I always was a little tepid about was the component of having people drinking, because that brings a different form of element of people coming in and so forth. But kind of relegated the fact that we are a small place, we're a family-oriented business. It's a pizza store. We don't want that type of crowd. We want just people that want to bring their children or having a good time, want to watch sports and not cause any problems, because that's the least biggest concern of ours was having that problem. But I have a partner that has had a beer and wine license with his previous business, the Stuffed Pizza off of Pico. Knows how to deal with that. And also we have a manager that was a former bartender, and he just did that for most of his professional career. So we have a lot of people that are within that experience level to help mitigate and control and work that side of the business. And I feel very confident, that with this addition, it'll only help our business. And I'm kind of finally glad that we're here. But like I said, maybe we should have done this right from the get-go.
All right, thank you. Okay, let's see here. Well, I don't think I have any follow-up questions at this time, so I will open the public hearing. Seeing that there is no one here wishing to speak on the item, I'm going to close the public hearing. All right, so there's two requests here. One is for a minor conditional use permit for beer and wine, and the other is for a minor architectural permit for the outdoor patio. I am able to make the findings for both the minor architectural permit and the minor conditional use permit. It's a small business. The area of extension is a small footprint. So the use of the outdoor space for added dining and the addition of beer and wine as an ancillary use will not take away from the primary use of the business as a restaurant. So the site is suitable for the type and intensity of use that's proposed. It is a permitted use within the subject zone pursuant to the approval of a minor conditional use permit and complies with all the requirements of the zoning ordinance and the general plan. The use will not be detrimental to public health, safety, or welfare. The operating hours are consistent with other restaurants and retailers in the area. Code compliance and the Orange County Sheriff's Department have reviewed it and have provided conditions that show that that ensure that the business will comply with licensing requirements. It has also been reviewed by Orange County Fire Authority and it'll have to comply with fire code and building code requirements. Let's see. And then with respect to the minor architectural permit, the project has been reviewed by the Design Review Subcommittee. They have recommended some improvements to the proposed exterior of the outdoor patio, and I would like to make sure that those are that either the exhibits that are attached to the staff report that are intended to represent the type of materials be reflected somehow in the conditions of approval, particularly this the colors that are supposed to be painted to match. I want to make sure that is followed, or that is a requirement. I'd also like to add the condition that staff has recommended, which is that there be dimensions or some markings to delineate prior to construction of the outdoor patio area, to show that everything that is proposed on the site plan can fit within the area that's shown, and doesn't impede or interfere with either the ADA space or with the area needed for the driveway. So this will make sure that the minor architectural permit is not detrimental to the orderly and harmonious development of the city. that the architectural treatment of the project complies with the architectural design guidelines, and that the general appearance of the proposal is in keeping with the character of the neighborhood. So with that, I will determine that the project is categorically exempt from the requirements of CEQA pursuant to CEQA guidelines section 15301, class 1 existing facilities, and section 15303, class 3 new construction or conversion of small structures. I also just want to add one other thing. The use of the outdoor area for dining under the TOOP permit was done in accordance with all rules and regulations, and there were no complaints about that outdoor dining area. So I think it definitely fills a need in the community. So with that, I approve.
Can I clarify one quick thing?
Yes.
The minor conditional use permit, it is for the beer and wine. It's also required for an outdoor dining area on private property, and that's
Oh, it is. Okay, sorry.
subsections E, F, and G under section 3.
Okay,
So it's required for both portions.
Okay, so the minor architectural permit and the minor conditional use permit are both required for the outdoor dining.
Correct.
On
So I
private
think
property.
the beer and wine was read into the record, but the outdoor dining on private property is also.
Okay, got it. Okay, so so with respect to the minor conditional use permit for the outdoor dining on private property, I'm able to make those findings as well with the required conditions of approval. So I will approve Resolution ZA 23-005, approving minor conditional use permit 21-358 and minor architectural permit 22-040, with the added condition of approval that Chris Johnson read into the record. Do we need to read that again?
We can. Would you like me to?
Yeah, or you'll just- Okay. Prior to the construction of the outdoor patio enclosure, the applicant shall delineate using tape or similar temporary marking the limits of the proposed construction as dimensioned in the approved site plan. The city planner or designee shall field verify the proposed limits to confirm dimensions in the approved site plan do not conflict with the driveway radius or encroach upon the ADA parking space and do not exceed the limits of work approved for the outdoor dining use. Upon review of the dimension limits of work, the city planner or designee will validate and provide written verification to the applicant regarding its consistency with submitted site plan dimensioning. Construction may commence only when confirmed by the city planner or designee. All right, so with that, I approve Surfside Pizza outdoor patio and beer and wine, subject to the conditions of approval, including the condition that was just added into the record. All right, thank you. All right, so let's see. The next item on the agenda is new business. Seeing none, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda, old business. Seeing none, I will adjourn this meeting to the next regular meeting of the zoning administrator to be held at 3 on Thursday, March 8th, 2023 at the Community Development Department first floor community room located at 910 Calle Negocio, San Clemente, California. Thank you.